Hello, everybody. Mike from Southern California again, and on today's episode of Voices, I'll be featuring Jay Hickman, a Houston-based voice actor, who's known for his work on the English dubs licensed by ADV Films, Sentai Filmworks, and Funimation. Okay. Jay's first role came in 1994 with ADV Films, um, with the as Pilot B in the Dirty Pair OVA Affair of Nolandia. Okay, so between that first role in the Dirty Pair OVA Affair of Nolandia in 1994 and 2000, Jay would also lend his voice to a few other projects particularly between 1998 and 1999. Most notably as the judge in Those Who Hunt Elves, and as Nagare Akatsuki in Martian successor Nadesico. Also lending his voice to various characters in Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040, as well as being cast in a couple of roles in Master of Mosquiton in 1999. Okay, so as we get into 2000 here, he was cast in Gasaraki. He was cast as the voice of Lieutenant Colonel Akihiro Hirokawa, and in Generator Gall, he was cast as the voice of Koji in 2000. Then as we move on to 2001, he was the narrator in AD Police, and lent his voice as various characters throughout a number of series, including Orphan, Spriggan, and Princess Nine. Princess Nine, basically about a female baseball team trying to prove that they can compete with the guys' baseball team. In 2002, his most notable role was as Toru Watanabe in Excel Saga. He was also cast as Sheba Scotch in Sorcerer on the Rocks. Then as we move into 2003, Jay lent his voice to various characters in a number of series, including Noir, Rune Soldier, and then aside from, of course, the various characters and those ones, he was also cast as Kazuo Fujiwara in Nihonranga, Itsuke Kisaragi in Rastavan. He was also cast as Colonel Wadarase in Gamera 2 Attack of the Legion. This was actually a live action dub. Also in the Lake Texarkana Gamera extra. Also, he was also cast as Shuei and Rikudo in Sayuki. Let's see. Oh yeah, he's also cast as various characters in Super Gals in 2003. Let's see. Let me make sure that, okay, so it's all the extra various character credits that he had in 2003. He was also cast as Zakaphone in the Spectral Force OVA, as well as Captain Sailor and others in Full Metal Panic. He was cast as Shozama in Aura Battle or Dunbine. He was also cast as a scientist in Yutaka Kizuki in Seal Angel Karumi. He was Shuji Inaba in Angelic Layer, as well as he was Dragon Shiryu in Saint Seiya in the ADV dubs of Saint Seiya. He was also cast in another Dirty Pair OVA, Flight 005 Conspiracy as an Agent. He was brought back for the Martian successor Nadesico film Prince of Darkness as Nagare Akatsuki. He was also the voice of Papa Tetsu Asahina in Magical Shopping Arcade Benobashi. Try to say that one 3 times fast. We get into 2004, his probably most notable role here during the year 2004, in which he started picking up quite a number of roles here. His most notable one, of course, was as Fool in Kaleidostar, which lasted from 2004 to 2006. Cast as Reed in Orphan Revenge. The Lonely Man, 6-shooter soldier in Kino's Journey. Various characters, again, in Bathtub Syndrome. Aside from, of course, the various characters, he was Alex Smith in Gravion. He reprised his role in Itsuke as Itsuke Kisaragi and Rasevon Prolitas Consentio, which I'm guessing is maybe a movie. He lent his voice to a live-action dub of Conduct Zero in 2004 as the Rumor Mill Blabbermouth. He was also brought in for Part 3 of the Megazone 23 OVA as Eiji Takanaka. He was cast as Ryusei in Aquarian Age. He was Genai and a few others in Chrono Crusade. Genai was a demon in that one that allied with the heroes to take out the main villain. Try to take out the main villain. He's cast in the live-action film dub of Yesterday as a computer tech and aerial newscast as well. He was Leon in Mezzo DSA, and he was Eve's client A, Police Dispatch A, and Parasite Dolls, as well as being Hideo and others in the live-action film dub of 2009 Lost Memories. 2005, he picked up a few more roles, including Ina Mori in Gantz, Shuwarutsu Negataro in Kekko Kamen. He was Bernard Firestar in Divergence Eve. Divergence Eve, as well as Misaki Chronicles, were a pair of pretty good animes. And for those of you who like fan service, there was some fan service in the endings there. If you want to check that out. He was cast in. Anyways, he came back as Bernard in 2006 in Misaki Chronicles. So something to keep in mind. He was also Jamiji in a Tree of Palm film. He was Shinichi Mekazawa, which is a little robot in Cromartie High School. He was Triple Speed in Madlike, which I believe that might have been a code name as an assassin. He was cast as Kotaro Onodera in Full Metal Panic Fumofu. If you haven't seen Fumofu, people, I definitely recommend it. One of the funniest animes I've ever seen. Quite a bit of humor in it. You guys like outrageous humor, especially when you look at how Sosuke reacts to everything. I believe in those roles that he has in Full Metal Fumofu. They're more they're like classmates of the main characters. He was cast as Karama in Elfin Lied, basically about a girl who is programmed to be an assassin found by a couple of high schoolers and taken in. Okay, so now back to this. Who was cast as Hamlet in the live-action film dub of Guns and Talks, as well as Yoshimi's lawyer in the live-action dub of Dark Water. I don't know if you guys ever saw the Dark Water movie, but that was pretty interesting, very surreal film. Another film that he lent his voice to was My Beautiful Girl Man as the adult Nam Woo. Also in 2005, he was cast as a graduate student in Place Promised in Our Early Days. He was Reiichi Kogure in Yugo the Negotiator. Then in the live-action dub of Public Enemy, he lent his voice as Internal Affairs Number 2. He was various voices in Go Danner. He was Teacher Bob and a punk in Fukons. Fukons is kind of a live-action anime that was kind of had people cast as like, they look like dolls. In Samurai Gun, he was cast as Ryoma Sakamoto. For those of you who don't know, Ryoma Sakamoto was a samurai during the Bakumatsu era of Japan, in which they had tried to fend off the influence of Western culture, as Commodore Perry had come to Japan. Now, as we get into 2006, he of course reprised his role as Bernard in Misaki Chronicles, which was a sequel to Divergent Eve. He was cast as Minoru Jinguji in Diamond Daydreams, which was another fun little anime you guys should check out. He was for those of you who are Princess Tutu fans, he was Prince Mythos. He was cast in Area 88 as Go Rocky Mutsuki. He was Shintaro in Papua. And as we get into 2007, he was Munto in Utawareru Mono. This is a very interesting fantasy adventure type. Got some real good fight scenes in it, in terms of like sword play and all that. And just, it's a very interesting story you guys should check out. In Air Gear, which is a story about basically a special type of rollerblade, he was cast as Spitfire, with the leader of a particular gang. He lent his voice as King Louis the 15th in Le Chevalier d'Eon. This is another interesting. This is one of those times when Japanese artists decided to take a very interesting take with a historical figure. Deon de Beaumont was actually a real live individual who lived around time of King Louis XV. He was a spy. In reality, he was a cross-dressing spy sent to Russia. He was a cross-dressing spy / diplomat sent to Russia. In Le Chevalier d'Eon, they took a supernatural element to where he was actually split into two people, himself and his quote-unquote sister, who was, so that's an interesting one to really look into, guys. Check out. He was also cast as Ijima in Corral Found a Memory. He was the Phantom and others in 009-1. He was also in Guyver in the ADV dub of Guyver as Dr. Odagiri, among others. He was Detective Number 1 in Ghost Train. In the Air series, he was cast as Ryuya, also in the special in the movies. In the 2006 version of Kanon, he lent his voice to Kuze. This is starting in 2008, of course. 2008 was when it was dubbed. Let's see. And he was also additional voices in Appleseed Ex Machina. Okay, so a couple other roles that I kind of skipped over that weren't on the one list. He was Milos in an episode of Noir. Noir is a very interesting tale about secret societies and assassins. I really recommend you guys check out. It's got some interesting fight scenes in it, as well as it's also cast in Wandava style in 2005 as Ichiren. He was also in the Funimation. He was actually cast in the Funimation dub as Chu and Hammond in One Piece. Let's see. He was also Kane Phalanx in Shadow Skill AG. Those of you that. He was Takatashi in Tactics. Which came out in 2006. Yes, he was Munto, one of the in Utawara. So, let's see. In Tokyo Majin, he was cast as Ukan Yatsurugi. He actually, in 2008, he was actually even in Devil May Cry opposite Ruben Langdon's character of Dante. He was Modi so I know for Toy Bounty Hunters, John Jay Hickman was Modius in Devil May Cry in 2008. He was also cast in Shattered Angels as Kazuya Ayanokoji. He had a number of roles in Golgo 13 in 2010, including, I think he was Flanagan in one episode. He was Danny Pierre. Had a number of voices in Golgo 13, which I'm watching right now, which is kind of another interesting assassin-based anime. Really shows some, it's about the main character is a professional assassin, very professional. Has some interesting quirks, like you don't want to be walking behind him unless you want to get shot. So Jay Hickman was a number of characters in here, including Flanagan, Fred, Sam, Wine Auctioneer, just a number of characters that were brought in for that one. He was Dr. Itsui Hirata in Ghost Hound in 2010. In 2011 he was cast in Gween Saga. I guess I guess now we're getting more into Sentai work as Aldo Nerys in Gween Saga. Another very fantasy-based anime. Gween, the main character, kind of looks like the tiger wrestler guy from Tekken. So it's a very interesting anime that you check out. Then in 2012 he was cast as Leon in Dream Eater Mary. He was also cast as Hakuro Shimada in Ungo. In La Storia della Arcana Famiglia, he was cast as Debito. He was cast as Hisanobu in Betum, Tama in Neon Koi. In Medaka Box Abnormal, he lent his voice to Oda Miya Kanojo. In Amnesia, he was Waka, 2014. He was Simon Gato in Majestic Prince in 2014. In Tamako Market, he was Diera Mochimazi. In A Sunday Without God, he was cast as Rek. He voiced Krusty in the Log Horizon series. He was Charlemagne in Nobunaga the Fool in 2015. Now getting into 2015, he was also Valeria Giacosa in Mud Love Alternative Total Eclipse. Also in 2015, he was cast as Yasu. He was cast as Yasu in Soniani Super Sonico the animation. For those of you who watched Akame ga Kill on Toonami, he was Dr. Stylish and Lord in that. Also, in Parasite the Magazine, he was Shiro Kuramori. In Hamatora, the animation, he was Nakata and Arata Hasuda. Also in 2015, in Brynhilder in the Darkness, he was cast as Kogoro Hashiratani, who was the scientist uncle of the main character, who was basically trying to protect some girls, a group of girls who were genetically given superpowers as some form of experiment. In Black Bullet, he was cast as Kagatane Hiruko. Let's see, he reprised his role as Krusty in Log Horizon 2 in 2016. He was Emilio Toriyama in Gatchaman Crowds Insight, based on the Gatchaman series, of course. He was cast as Takaya Karasu in Amagi Brilliant Park in 2017. He was cast as Mororo in Utawarumono, The False Faces, which is, I guess, another. And then in Food Wars, now for those of you who are watching Toonami on Saturday nights on Food Wars, he is the English voice for Joichiro Yukihara, and I recommend you guys check Food Wars out. Shogeki no Soma. That one's a pretty interesting one. They do battles actually with cooking as opposed to weaponry. It's kind of an interesting take on life. Good anime though. You guys check it out. He was cast as Manabu Naoi in Haikyuu, which is a volleyball anime as I understand it. I've seen, I guess, the opening music. Okay, he reprised his role in Food Wars Second Plate, set in 2018. In 2018, he was also cast as TT-392 in Flip Flappers. Aiko Kano in Devil's Line. He was the giraffe in Review Starlight. He was also the Duke of Normandy in Princess Principal. And in Bloom Into You, he was cast as Yu's father. So that's a list of Jay Hickman's credits. Some of them you may know, like stuff from Akame ga Kill, Parasite the Magazine, and Food Wars. Maybe you guys have seen that his work on there, as well as One Piece, the one Funimation credit. So with all that being said, you guys can check out the links below. My Twitter handle will be down there if you want to contact me direct. Guys, I hope that this is helpful, and I hope as we're talking in the chat, if you have any follow-up questions when I premiere this, I hope you guys will go ahead and ask me. I can answer your follow-up questions. Jay Hickman's quite a prolific actor. He's lent his voice to a number of great roles for ADV and Sentai. You guys can check those out. Don't forget to check out Food Wars on Toonami on Saturday night, Sunday morning, 1 a.m. You'll probably eventually hear his voice among many other great voice actors you don't hear as much about. I hope that you guys will learn, as you guys learn more about, as you guys learn more about these voice actors, maybe you'll start to like their work, and maybe we'll start inviting them to conventions. Anyways, you check out the links below. My Twitter handle's down there. You can contact me directly via DM or comment on my videos or what have you. You guys know I'm promoting a number of dub companies. You guys should check those out. Also promoting the GoFundMes. As always, guys, never feel like you have to give. If you have the ability to and it's on your heart to do so, please consider giving or donating. If you've already donated, please consider donating again. And if you're not in a position to donate, you can at least help out still by sharing things. Maybe somebody in your network of friends might consider it. And if you guys like this comment, please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. I look forward to the conversations with you guys. And until Friday, when this premieres, I'll see you guys then. Also, don't forget to check out my On the Mic daily videos for news and commentary on the stuff going on. Till then, bye.